Good day to you all. Now, I have been sent two quite interesting questions from Erica. Here are the questions I'm going to answer today. Let's start with the first one. So the limb sleeve. Now I don't have the limb, so I can't wave the sleeve at you, but I have shown you before, and the limb sleeve is the one that goes over the top of everything that holds the leg on to me. They're made of various different types of material. The one I've got at the moment is neoprene, and they have ordered one of a different material that hopefully will roll down less. But the question was, how long will it last? Well, the limb sleeve has to have a certain amount of stretch and flex to be able to hold the leg onto my leg and still allow me to bend my knee. Now, depending on the level of activity, that will determine how long the sleeve lasts. So obviously high activity, lots of bend and wear and things like that, the stretch will go out of that limb sleeve faster than someone who is a little bit more sedentary. How long does it last exactly? I couldn't actually tell you because I have not gone through one just yet and needed a second. So I'll let you know when I've got the answer to that. But like I say, it would be determined by the level of activity. So I would assume somebody younger and more active would go through a limb sleeve faster than somebody a little older and a little bit less active. And my second question. Now, it is a very good question. Normally, the question is related to weight, and if you gain weight and lose weight, and how does that affect your leg. But Erica has asked me about the difference in weight and load regards to training. Now, that is an awesome question because if I get back to the point where I'm back into full training, there will be times when I'm working on cardio, there'll be times when I'm working on strength, and that will determine the muscle bulk on me at different times of the year. That's usually how it works with triathlon. You do the muscle bulk in the off season, and then you back off on that as you come up to your races, because speed and strength don't go together. But how does that get managed with regards to a leg? Good question. I asked the prosthetist last week about the limb sleeve option and whether I was able to use a different type of leg option to hold the leg on because of all the bulk that it causes around my knee. And I was told I couldn't have any other option at the moment apart from the limb sleeve because the leg needs to stabilize in size. Equally, I asked, why did I have to keep wearing the compression sock under here when I'm not wearing the leg if I don't need it to be compressed and shrunk anymore? And that was to keep the shape as it is supposed to be, rather than, like if you're wearing a corset and you take it off and everything goes pfft. That could happen with the end of my left leg as well. So I've got to keep it on when I'm not wearing the leg. Now, I don't wear it religiously day and night like I used to. Sometimes I take it off at night because it does get a bit itchy when you've got it on all the time. But that's what its purpose is. But what happens with weight fluctuations? Well, a jolly good question. If I find a way, like I said before, to keep the muscle bulk on the left leg as well as the right, then that would become a bit more of an issue, maybe, because then it would fluctuate more. But at the moment, the muscle bulk in the left quad is less than the right because I'm not able to use it and load it the same because I don't have as much of a lever on the other side of the knee. But it will still matter if I lose weight or gain weight. That does affect the size of the socket. What do they do about that? Well, I'm hoping that below the knee it will be a little bit less affected by weight gain, loss, muscle bulk gain, loss, because I've got less of a lever below the knee. It's only short and there's less muscle down there. It's only the calf wrapped around as some cushioning. But it does still happen because I've spoken to a below the knee amputee who says that he's got to keep his weight within a couple of kilos, otherwise the leg fitting goes all off. How do we manage that? Well, if you get too fat for the leg, it doesn't fit, you need a new one. But if you lose some weight off that limb, like I have, what they do is they give you some socks. And I've shown you those before, and you wear layers of socks after the liner, between the liner and the socket. And you can get up to about 4 layers of socks before it starts to get too many. What happens is they bulk up behind the knee, they start to restrict your knee bend, and it actually cuts into the back of the hamstring. So you can only go to about 4 socks and then you need a new socket. That's what happened with my previous leg. So if I lose too much weight, I'll need a new socket made. And what they do, like I said to you before, is they just change the socket. And the rest of the leg can remain the same. They will end up with 2 feet, 2 posts. So I've got like a leg and a half. So when I am getting the socket changed, I will still have a leg to stand on whilst they make the new one. There was no point in doing that this time because I couldn't wear it. It was just too big. So I just gave it in the back to save parts. But that's what happens. They will need to remake the socket if the leg shrinks too much, or if I get too fat for it, they'll need to remake the socket again. And that's how you manage it. So who knew that you needed to keep your weight stable in order to be able to fit your leg on or not? Yes, that's another thing that you've got to add to the problems of being an amputee. So thank you for those questions, Erica, and I'm happy to take any other questions you've got. I hope you have a lovely weekend.